Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore 1926, and woo! The balls on Gilbert! My god! You are not allowed to come into somebody else's route and be that sexy, Gil. Jesus. But like, it was nice. So we had a little bit of a confrontation with Gil, and he was just sexy as shit. I swear to God. Because it's like, I can't really remember. I mean, I don't think I was like, oh yeah, Gil's route, when I played the game the first time. Gil wasn't my favorite, like, right off the bat, like, when you just, like, you know, how I do my thing. This is my favorite character, right here, this one. And maybe these couple. You know what I mean? I like them based on my eyes, okay? Pick what my eyes like. But when you play the routes, Gil definitely, like, you're like, no, his route was really good, and I remember liking him. But it's funny, because after the fact, sometimes there are characters that later you're like, this has become my favorite character, or there was a character you liked that you stopped liking. Generally, for me, my eyeballs pick them and I love them. You know what I mean? But it's weird because I think, like, after the first one, before I played this one again, I was still like, yeah, no, you know, like, Dante, Nicola, Yang, frickin' Henry, and then, like, Gil would have been at the bottom under those guys. You know what I mean? But for some reason, then I play this and I'm like, I like Gil a hell of a lot more than I remember. But I'm just like, I kind of feel bad for him because I feel like I enjoyed the first route, like in the first game. But then it was just because he wasn't like my first eyeball choice, you know what I mean? That like, I just forgot that I enjoyed his route. And like, then you get here and you're like, God damn, did you get more charming? Did I change? Did you what happened? Because he's just extremely again, look, Oliver is still the standout in Gil's route and in Orlok's route. But like, Gil is so fucking charming. Like, you can't deny you're like, no, your route was really enjoyable and I really liked this because like, God damn you. And then he shows up here and you're like, I'm in freaking the middle of Dante's route, fawning left and right over this jackass. He's so adorable. Look at our angry little marshmallow. I love him so much. And then Gil shows up and I'm like, Gil, I'm distracted because you are way sexy in this scene. Like, stop it. Holy hell. I mean, I love Nicola, but I'm like, look, Nicola's adorable. He's not going to steal me from Dante. But there was a minute there, Gil, I was considering. I was going to defect. It was like, shit. That's not fair. But I love this route. I think this one's my favorite. Just because it's got all the feels. You've got the anger at Gil. How dare you betray me? And I have to torture Oliver now to get back at you. And I don't like doing this, okay? That makes me angry and sad. You know? And then Gil comes all up here being all sexy in the last part. And you're like, oh, I'm very confused and turned on. You know? And then Dante's just adorable. So it makes my heart hurt. Because he's just so sweet and angry and like beautiful. And he blushes. And it's just, there's just the emotional roller coaster in this route. It's killing me is all I'm saying. And I love it. But anyway, so I'm starting to get the impression that Raul is setting us all up. Not saying Gil isn't being a little shady, but I feel like that's mafia reasons and like maybe we'll be able to forgive him for it type of a thing. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's not torture Oliver levels of like betrayal where we have that kind of revenge. We're just going to feel sad and hurt. But we'll understand and we'll get over it. And the Oliver level, I might have to torture and kill Oliver to get back at you levels of betrayal was just Raul trying to, like, hurt me. And it worked! I was bamboozled by it, too. But that's just because Gil's been acting sus the whole time. So, like, perfect, writers. Because he's acting suspicious, and you're like, Gil's a little suspicious, what's going on? And then that kind of comes up, and you're like, the level of betrayal is just way more than I expected! And then you're like, oh, that was all fake. Oh, some of it might be faked. Okay. But, like, he's been acting sus, and I do think that there's a little, like, there's some kind of shit going on. Maybe not this bad. Maybe not so bad that I had to threaten to hurt Oliver. But I'm just saying, that's how betrayed I felt. Like, that's all. Oliver, I'm so sorry. I will make it up to you That those thoughts even cross my mind, but you have to understand. And I feel like Oliver would be like, no, I get it. Fine. Anyway. Oops, we've been talking too long. So, anyway, we had the little after thingy after dinner, and then it was like I was getting ready for bed. When? Something like that. Anyway, Dante spoke my name. You had a chance to come up here, bird! Don't you dare! In space, about the message that Gilbert handed to me. It says to meet him at a deserted house near Foro Romano. Foro Romano, 3 days from now at 5 o'clock. Ruins from the ancient Roman era. Are you going? For the sake of my family, I can't let the Visconti have their way. What about the answer Gil was talking about? That's... Dante looked away from me hesitantly. I chose my next words carefully. Do you think Gil really believes the Mafia has no future here? I believe so. He's been saying it like a broken record every time we've met for work. The government's stance against the Mafia is becoming increasingly strict, and it's clear those laws will negatively impact our business. We still have the support of the church, but it's no guarantee for protection. If the government turns against us, we'll need to spend even more money on politicians and business partners than before. At the same time, we're losing our means of making money. We're slowly being strangled to death. Mafia's current outlook seemed bleak, not to mention how bad things could get in the future. Gil and Dante must be keenly aware of the dangers, that their family's survival rested in their hands. Even so, our business is a complex one, and we can't and won't go out of business overnight. Which is why the answer Gilbert seeks is based on the question, what will I decide for the Falzone? How will we continue to survive? At least, that's what I think. Why Gilbert would bother himself with my answer, I have no idea, but... Dante suddenly went quiet. He seemed to still be pondering the answer. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of confusing. It's like, you're kind of like, why does Gilbert care? Because Gil's like, I'm getting out, I'm going to America. You know? And then you're like, is he giving us this kind of almost an ultimatum type thing? Like, I need your answer, buddy. I need to know what you're going to do. To know, like, to think in his head, he's like, all right, well, if he says A, then he's going to backstab me and I'm going to have to take him out. Or like, oh, if he goes with B, then, like, we're cool type of, you know what I mean? But it's like, if I don't know what answer you're expecting from me, I mean, not expecting like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not backstabbing you. But if I don't really know the question you're fully asking, you know what I mean? How am I going to give you the right answer? And I mean the right answer that's the truth, you know, which is, we weren't planning to backstab you, Gil. I thought you were our friend. You know what I mean? So, like, it's kind of like, we're in a weird conundrum here. This wasn't a simple decision. In fact, it might be the most important one he had ever faced. 2 days after we ran into Gil, Dante was keeping busy, receiving reports and giving orders to his men over the phone, but wasn't... When did he say the meeting was supposed to take place with Raoul? Because then Gil was like, here, 3 days from now, come here and meet me here, but wasn't it like the next night that he was supposedly meeting Raoul? So like Dante then just decided not to go to that? Like that, I'm a little confused on the timeline here because that's what I thought was happening, but I don't remember. Every now and again he would stop and sit in silence as though he was thinking about Gil's question. I decided to stay quiet in the room so that I wouldn't get in his way. The meeting was set for tomorrow. It started to pour from the early afternoon. I could hear the pitter-patter of rain against the window. I climbed into bed, but I couldn't fall asleep, no matter how much time passed. I had no choice but to get up. Having trouble sleeping? Dante was sitting on the sofa, still wide awake. On the table next to him was a glass of amber-colored liquor. I initially thought it was an unusual sight, but on closer inspection, I noticed the glass was still nearly full. He must have been so deep in thought that he forgot he had a drink waiting for him. I'm having some trouble falling asleep myself. Noticing that I was staring at the glass, he smiled slightly. I walked over to the sofa where he sat and took a seat beside Dante, snuggling against him. We both spent a while sitting in silence and leaning against each other, this would be a cute CG too. Him just sitting there, one arm around you while you're leaning into him, like kind of like legs up on the couch, kind of like back against his chest. You know what I mean? And then like glass in the other hand. I could picture it in my hand. Suddenly, Dante spoke. I should have my answer by now, but I'm still at a loss. I knew the decision was hard for him. I don't need to decide now, ... I kind of feel like the right answer is you do need to decide now. You need to decide. You know what I mean? Not just because, like, for the family, because I guess you don't need to decide right this second. You have a little bit of time, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to come to the right decision. But if you don't have an answer and you go to Gil and you're like, I got nothing, I just feel like that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? So I'm not really... I feel like the right Dante answer is you don't need to decide now than staying silent. But I kind of feel like you do need to decide now, though. Gil's gonna like... I mean, this is the right Dante answer, but... Situational answer, I don't know. After a short pause, I responded, I don't think you need to decide on it now. Gilbert said to only come when I had an answer. I don't have time on my side. I can't afford not to make a decision. But is this something you can decide so easily? An answer that would determine the family's future. Very few could understand the importance of the responsibility he carried for them. And so, you can't turn back once you give your answer, which is why I don't think it's something you should rush to decide. He closed his eyes and fell silent. I could hear him taking a deep breath. You're right. Even if I come up with an answer for the sake of answering, I doubt that would satisfy Gilbert in the slightest. My answer is I don't know. That's a valid answer. Dante's azure eyes seemed to contain something like a bright light within them. I want to fight against these changes. Even if the Mafia is destined to perish, I want to continue living and fighting for our future. My decision would only prolong whatever remaining time we have left, but those are my honest feelings at the moment. These are my honest feelings at the moment. Sorry. His voice was filled with determination, and then he broke into a smile. I'm not sure if that answer will satisfy Gilbert, but he did tell me to come after I made up my mind. He might be angry if he thinks you're hesitant in any way. I'm certain of it. Dante smiled wryly, which made me smile as well. Whatever's on your mind when you see him is what you should say to him, Dante. I'm sure what Gil really wants to hear is how you honestly feel about his question. I would support him, no matter his answer. I was sure Gil didn't ask Dante that question just to hear an answer that was convenient for him. At least, that was what I hoped. And down. The next morning, we were met with clear skies and a dazzling sun. Dante wrapped up work early to make some time to spend with me. We went out to a nearby bar around noon and enjoyed ourselves over lunch and drinks. Couldn't stop smiling the entire time we chatted and walked around the city. But soon enough, it was almost time for us to meet Gilbert. Dante didn't dare bring any bodyguards. Only I accompanied him to the designated location. Yeah, so I can jump in front of him when Gil tries to shoot him. We arrived at the place near the famous Foro Romano, known for its ancient ruins. Gil was already standing there waiting for us with unflagging confidence. I'm pretty sure that that's just a given with Gil. Right on time. Gil gave a slight smile. So, got your answer for me? Yes. I'll stay and fight for our survival. Bird, what the hell? It's like threw one of his jingle balls, but he threw it into the wall. I just heard thunk, jingle, jingle, jingle. Weird. Gil raised one eyebrow a little, then his face twisted with a bitter emotion. He spoke in a low voice, stifling his anger. Are you serious? That's a surprise. Never expected you to be this stupid. Face the facts, Dante. The Mafia and the old ways are done for. You've seen it firsthand yourself. Dante frowned at Gil's irritated outburst. I know it seems very not like Gil. I'm kind of intrigued by what's happening here. Right. I don't need to be reminded. I know very well that the tides are against us. And so, this is my decision. I'm wondering, though, you know what's kind of funny about this? Is I kind of wonder, Gil's like, oh, come on, Dante! You're being stupid! And he's being, like, extremely angry about it, and you're like, I wonder if this is an act. Like, he knew what Dante would say, and he's, like, acting angry. You know what I mean? Like, thinking Raoul's listening. You know what I mean? Like, trying to incite, like, just so if Raoul's, like, listening or has a spy, then they go back, oh, yeah, they're totally gonna fucking all-out war. Instead of being like, oh, yeah, cool, buddy, we should be besties. You know what I mean? Like, he's making a scene, knowing that Dante is just gonna stand his ground and just be, like, fucking like a rock, because that's just Dante. It's just a little rock. You know what I mean? So, I'm wondering. I'm hoping, okay, and not Gil's just irrationally mad right now, so. Seriously? Who are you to tell me how to conduct my affairs? After what you've done to the Fell Zone, you have no right to say anything. Dante raised his voice in anger. Or he wrote something on the thing, better come with your answer, FYI. You know what I mean? Like, or Dante knows too, and this is all an act between them, and we're like, oh, you just didn't tell me what was going on. Okay. Because of course they're not going to tell me what's going on. Because as the player, part of the game is the mystery of what's happening, and you're like, oh my god, are they going to kill each other? And they're like, no, we were just doing that for Raoul's sake. And if they tell me in advance, then, like, it ruins the mystery and the fun of it, you know? But it then always does make the main character seem a little stupid. Everybody leaves you out of everything. On purpose and for a reason, but you're like, oh, nobody ever tells me anything. I can keep a secret. No, I can't. I mean, like, Gil gave a heavy sigh, almost as though he was prepared for reproach. You were right before when you thought something else was going on. It's the Lu Huan Hu. Lu Huan Hu? Yeah, they wanted to pit me against you as penance for crushing the Lao Shu. Damn it! Far from satisfied by Gil's confession, Dante yelled loudly. Why didn't you tell me that in the first place? You said I was your friend. You said I was your friend. Dante is trying so hard not to crack right now. Why would you hide something important like that from me? Dante ran forward in anger, raising his fist in the air. Dante's so mad he's gonna punch Gil! Oh! His punch landed squarely on Gil's cheek. That's so sad! Oh! This hurts! I really hope they're faking it, like, you know what I mean? But I also just think it's kind of funny that Dante's like, you called me your friend, why would you lie? And then punches Gil because it hurts him that he was in such fucking, we're not friends. But then was like, Gil likes me, we're friends. That this hurts him? Aw, it's kind of adorable. I love it. I gasped at how quickly the situation changed. It seemed Gil hadn't expected Dante to react so angrily and staggered back from the sudden blow. This is so entertaining because I'm like, I'm not really sure if they're fighting. There's like a literal like fist fight. I mean, it is, but you know what I mean? Like a real one or like a for show one. Like, I'm just so done. I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm a little sus of it. The like freaking raging jazzy music in the back is not helping me think it's a little, you know, it's like, it's like so peppy. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyway. As he straightened himself out, he glared at Dante. You think it's so easy? Should I have brought it up to you over drinks? Gil shouted back at Dante and threw a punch on his own. I feel like this is all code fucking shit going on between them, you know what I mean? Ugh. Dante doubled over after Gil punched him in the stomach. And then you're like, but guys, so you were fake punching? No, we were literally punching each other. Fucking men. You're gonna fight for your survival, huh? You think I wouldn't do the same to protect my own, the Visconti? I'm almost gonna get rid of the Fell Zone and then pretend nothing else mattered. But really, was that the only way I could've... Gilbert! Dante lunged forward and grabbed Gil by the collar. Now we get a CG of them beating each other? I kinda love it. Oh... Our bromance is dead. No, but you know what I mean. I kind of love this so much. It's kind of funny, like, watching them punch each other. This is the CG they went with. So many other cute opportunities. They were like, let's do it when freaking Dante and Gil are punching each other. I kind of appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie. The goddamn testosterone in this room is killing me. With the other hand, he sent a punch straight into Gil's face. It's so cute, though. Like there's just something about it. You're like, I don't know if they're fighting for real or not, but they're definitely really punching each other. But despite the beating, Gil grabbed Dante's vest, but Dante didn't back down. I don't give a damn about your problems. No matter what you say, all you're doing is trying to get rid of the Falzo. That's not it. Listen to me. Gil's fist landed on Dante's cheek mid-sentence. You know what's even funnier? Is this. Dante just like, Gil just kind of being mad about like whatever, like, God, we're getting into like a heated debate, and then Dante just punching him and Gil being like, what the fuck? I was trying to explain shit. And then they get into a fist fight and he's like, that's not what I'm trying to say. Would you shut up and listen? And then they talk it out and they're like, oh. And Dante just threw a punch for no reason. Because he was mad. I thought I was your friend! He was just so mad about it. That this whole fight is for no fucking reason. Fucking men. Oh my god. I'm not sure. It's pretty that actually I think would laugh so hard. I'm already laughing about that. Oh good god. Ugh. Dante reeled back for a moment, shaking his head, and blood from his mouth dripped at his feet. There has to be a better way to survive. There has to be. That's why I took action. When the hell do you think I lied to you about not having any deals in Chicago? So you'd figure it all out. So you could see what was happening. He lied so that Dante would do the math? Interesting. Lied about it on purpose? I was relieved to finally learn Gil's intentions, but the two continued fighting. I was trying to help you. Well, I'm mad! I think the fact that they're fighting for no fucking reason, actually. So what? What were you going to do if I didn't realize what was happening? As Dante yelled, he landed an uppercut against Gil's chin. I swear to God, they're going to send each other to the hospital over something stupid. This is hilarious. Like anyone would think you're that stupid, you freaking idiot. I didn't think you were that dumb, idiot. You just complimented his intelligence while calling him an idiot. I can't. I love this route so much. Everything about this is goddamn magical. Oh dear God. These fucking idiots. Gil yelled back at Dante, punching him hard in the stomach again. God, this is so good. Dante coughed and gasped from the hit, but regained his composure slowly and glared at Gil. You think giving up the Mafia name will matter? That our enemies will just give up? Is that the Visconti's choice? Your choice? Yeah, that's right. Do whatever you want when it comes to the Visconti. The Foul Zone will continue to live on as Mafia. You... Just how hard-headed can you be? It's like all my warnings were a damn waste of time. And that's right. I was born Mafia. I have pride. You think you're the only one with pride? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why you're both fist-fighting each other is your stupid male pride right now, because you're fucking idiots. I love them both. They're so stupid. I feel like all of a sudden we're going to turn around and Oliver's going to be standing there like, oh. They continued landing blows against each other faster than they exchanged words. Not that I don't understand what you're saying, but you gotta face the truth, Dante. You'd see it too if your hand was forced like mine. That's why I went to all the trouble to get you here. You still won't accept it even after all this, huh? Damn it, you're stupid! Stupid! What, you... Both of you, stop already! I thought they'd eventually manage to work it out, but I love the fact that they're just like, this is how they're bro-duding and fighting, and it just... My little marshmallow is like such a fucking moron. I love them both. Seeing that things would only get worse, I decided to finally step in, and I get a punch. Gil, you weren't trying to set us up to get rid of the Foul Zone, right? Despite being a boss of another family, he went to all this trouble to try and help Dante. I'm sure that if we calm down and talk a little, we can... This has nothing to do with you, Space! I can't... Oh my god, I can't yell in his voice, but anyway. How dare you? Yeah, he's right. This is a problem that needs to be settled ourselves. With your fists, you idiots? Let me tell you something. I may be beating the crap out of you, but I don't want to. I'm out of options. Why didn't you discuss it with me in the first place? You go around calling people friends and you don't even trust them? This all started because Dante was like, I thought I was your friend! And then punched Gil. Oh my god, they're so stupid. Their fighting continued. Both were covered in blood, but they kept stepping forward after each blow. And then they're gonna stop panting on the floor and they're gonna talk and I'll be like, see, this is what I fucking said about 10 minutes ago. So it does concern me, you goddamn morons. You know what's gonna happen? Dante's gonna be like, I'm sorry. And she's gonna be like, I'm just glad you're okay. I'll be like, I'm glad you're okay, but you're an idiot. This is where you tell him off. Perhaps it was a clash of wills, since neither seemed willing to concede first. You're out of your damn mind bringing her here with you. What? You're the one who told me to bring her here. I didn't think you'd be stupid enough to do it. What if I was actually trying to kill you? So you're saying that you weren't trying to kill me then? As they're punching each other right now, this is the conversation we're having. Unbelievable. I wanted to kill you. I wouldn't have passed you a note like we were in middle school. Did kids in middle school in 1926 do this shit? I'm just saying. This is all your fault. The only reason you're the boss is because everyone likes you. You have friends, loyal soldiers, but it's never occurred to you that you could be wrong. You're just cocky. Huh? Hey, I worked my ass off to get where I am. Maybe it just looks like fun and games because I didn't inherit the burden of a family that's been around since the dawn of time. Damn it. You don't know anything. Can't believe you called me your friend. Really, this again? What's wrong? You don't like that I called you my friend? Don't tell me they're gonna fight about this now. We are realizing how stupid men are. Good God. Human beings in general are stupid, but this is the man kind of stupid right here. I looked around, hoping that I could find anything to help, and saw something. A bucket filled with rainwater from yesterday. Nice. I was like, is it a rock? Can we chuck a rock at somebody? This is hilarious. Calm down, you two! I grabbed the bucket and I really think we should see a CG of them just like sopping wet and just looking pathetic. The two stopped in their tracks, completely drenched. They slowly turned toward me. It was then I suddenly realized what I had done. I'm sorry. Everything was silent save for the sound of water dripping. They were both staring at me for a moment, but then they turned their attention back to each other. I'm like, if you start fighting, I'm chucking a bucket at the first person who throws a punch. And then I'm getting rocks. We'll reconvene later. That's fine. I need to change my clothes. I'm so sorry. Realizing once again what I had done, I started blushing furiously as I apologized. No! I'd be like, no fucking this shit. You're not gonna reconvene later. You two soggy bastards are gonna hug it out. That's what we do. It's okay. It was rude of us to leave our signorina out of the conversation. I prefer you leave me out of the conversation that involves fists, by the way. I'm gonna build a foul zone for my dry cleaning if you don't mind. Better yet, just send me your measurements. I'll have a new suit tailored. Bill chuckled at Dante's composed reply. What the fuck? This is hilariously amazing. You were just beating the shit out of each other and now you're like, dry clean? Don't worry, I'll get you a new suit. It'll be fine, sweet. Like, are you gonna fucking split a latte now? Oh, halvesies on a box of munchkins? What the fuck? You idiots. I love them so fucking much. This is so good. Maybe it was just me, but I felt like Dante and Gil were back to their normal selves again. Suddenly I felt my own tension about the situation alleviating. No, I'd scream very loudly. Pardon me. That night, Gil visited us at the hotel where we were staying. Dante raised his head to see him coming in. Have you had dinner yet? Gil blinked a few times in surprise at Dante's question. I mean, considering the fact that they literally just got into a fist fight, we chucked water on them, then they're all about dry cleaning suits, and now we're having dinner. Am I the only one who doesn't remember taking the LSD? Because I feel like we were on drugs. And it's going to be a long night, so we should order food and drinks from room service. Well, I guess I'll take you up on that offer of yours then. We spent a bit of time discussing appetizers and wine. Again, after we just had a fist fight, and now appetizers and wine. What the fuck? This is so good! You're just like, and now we're bros? Like, slightly awkward bros, but bros! Okay. It was up to Gil to choose the wine like before, but this time he chose a white wine that he knew Dante liked, as like a piece of... This is adorable. Oh my god. This is like when you get in a fight with your significant other, and then you're like, we're both kind of wrong, and then you do something nice for them. It's like your way to apologize, and then eventually you're like, alright, I'm sorry, I know we got into an argument, and like, whatever, and like, this is... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! And Visconti's looking to set up shop in Chicago, but you know as well as I do that it ain't gonna be easy. Gil was the first to start the conversation after our meal arrived. Dante nodded in response, and Gil continued. Still, I figured we can manage to persuade them somehow. It was around that time that Raoul put me in touch with the Lu Huanhu. They're groused a bit, of course, saying I had to pay for what I did to the Lao Shu. Dante frowned, seeming to recall the incident. You must be kidding. There's your thirst for blood, Falzone. You won't be able to kill me like that. It was none other than Dante who killed the Lao Shu's leader, Yang. The Visconti provided their assistance back then to help bring about their demise. I felt very uncomfortable to confront what happened back then. They wanted us to crush the Falzone. We did that, then they talked to the guys in Chicago to let us in. They also said that if I refused, they just crushed the both of us. Do you really believe the Lu Huanhu will follow through on that favor? Gil chuckled at Dante's response. The only reason he flashed that kind of bait was because he knew we were getting ready to make off to Chicago. I bet Chicago themselves leaked it to them. After all, the Lu Huanhu does have strong connections there. The word I can't pronounce have roots all over the world. But that means... Dante frowned and thought again for a moment before continuing. And there really is no benefit to them if they helped you into Chicago. And they can turn on the Visconti the moment you finish the job. Yeah, that's what I figured. Gil shrugged, clearly having already accepted that the Lu Huanhu couldn't be trusted. I mean... Yeah, I kind of figured that was a given. Both of them sighed, and I asked them a question that was on my mind. Why do you think Raoul was acting as a messenger for the Lu Huanhu? Yeah, I looked into that myself. Seems like Raoul's connected to the fascist regime. Dante's gaze sharpened. He looked at Gil and waited for him to continue. The Italian government wants the Mafia gone, plain and simple. Naturally, Chicago had a problem with that. If all of us are chased out of Italy, where else would we run but America? It'd be awfully crowded with all of us fresh off the boat. I see. So it would be of mutual benefit to them if the Falzone and Visconti finished each other off. The Lu Huanhu wouldn't even need to make a move themselves to have their revenge. Dante mumbled as he began to grasp the full situation. According to Raoul, someone at the church is friendly enough with both sides to broker the deal. The church? I was surprised to hear about their involvement out of nowhere. Did I read that convincingly? I was surprised to hear about their involvement. Really? Girl! I'm not. I mean, we've played the whole damn game, but I also mean, the church is shady? Yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting that. I mean, they're not really painted in a good light, pretty much at all. Poor Sister Sophia, she's about the only good thing over there. My sources say it's some priest named Teo, but that's all I know about him. Teo. I met someone recently by that name. The image of his face crossed my mind. Well, the name is rather common, so I suppose it's just coincidence. I don't have the scoop on this guy yet, but in any case, I wanted to find a way out of this without having to actually kill the Falzone. That's why I avoided any moves that would mean direct harm to the townsfolk, raids and the like. But you did deal sufficient damage to our bank account. Dante replied with a sarcastic smile. So FYI, I'm not getting you a new suit and I'm not paying for your dry cleaning because your dry cleaning bill is nothing compared to the money you lost me, bitch. I'm gonna send you that bill, by the way, Gil. I'll get you a new suit, but I'm gonna send you the bill for how much money we fucking lost because of you. So, just saying. With a deep sigh, he gathered his thoughts before turning back to Gil. You showed me your hand, so I'll show you mine. I'll tell you what the Falzone knows. We wouldn't share this kind of information with an outsider, but You are my friend. Look at Dante's sweet little face! And then he's like, I know I just punched the shit out of you, but you also punched the shit out of me. That's what friends do, apparently. I guess this is how I don't know why I don't have a lot of friends, because I don't punch a lot of people. I haven't actually punched the people that I call my friends, so I guess I have to have a conversation with them. Excuse me, did you know that as friends we're supposed to have fistfights on a regular, even though we could just talk it out? Like, grazie, Dante. Dante looked away from Gil's smile, but as promised, he began to explain in detail. He's like, friend, and then Gil smiles at him and he looks away blushing, like, I love this friend-mance. Romance happening is beautiful. He spoke about Raoul betraying the family and plotting to have Dante assassinated. He also explained how he let Raoul live so that he could find out who was supporting him. Sorry. First and foremost, we need to figure out who exactly is behind Raoul. For all we know, that person has no shortage of puppets to do his bidding. I need to kill it at the source. Which reminds me, you aren't this person, are you, Gilbert? Excuse me? Gil was clearly dumbfounded by the question, and Dante looked relieved. Well, I'm glad I wasn't mistaken. I received false information that you were the one who betrayed the family to Raoul. It's likely that the rumor was arranged to goad me into fighting you. The whole thing's finally starting to make sense. There's no need to let Raoul live at this point. He's as good as dead. I second that. Crafty guy like Raoul can't be left alone to wreak his havoc. He's been nothing but trouble for us, too. Gil responded in full agreement. It's true that Raoul and I have plans to discuss the Lu Huan Hu here in Rome. The meet's set for tomorrow. Why don't you come with me, Dante? See what he's got to say for himself. I appreciate your support, Gilbert. Dante expressed his earnest gratitude toward Gil's offer. I'll continue investigating Raoul's contact at church as well as the Lu Huan Hu. What are you going to do about Chicago? I'm thinking of going down there myself after taking care of Raoul and the mess he's made. Won't that be dangerous? Yeah, I'll just tell him I'm done being mafia. Settle down in America my own way. Salt to the earth like anyone else. Buy up real estate, make some extra cash in the stock market. The way I see it, there's plenty of room outside of Chicago. Can't just burn bridges with them yet, especially if I want to make it big there. What do you mean? At the end of the day, it's all about money. If they see that I can rake it in, they'll do what they can to keep me afloat. There's no telling how long this economic boon will last. Gotta cash in while I still can before things take a turn. It's like Gil fucking knows. What do you know? I love that he's like, gotta get this economic boon before, like, the stock market crashes and there's, like, a Great Depression or some shit. I mean, seriously. What the hell do you know? You know what I mean? Like, it's like he knows. Obviously, like, the writers knew because it's the past, but still, it's like, Gil is from the motherfucking future. The reason why he's wearing that eye patch is he has a robot eye. We know that's not true because he's taken it off. It's just, he doesn't see as well. Like, didn't he get, like, shrapnel in his eye or some shit? Oh my god, that hurts my eyes. Gil wore his usual smile, but the tone of his voice was serious. I understood now why he was so determined to move out of Italy and into the American market. I understand. Since the Falzone still has no intention of moving to Chicago. All the reading? I'm tired, and then the voices and the reading. It's like, it's killing me right now, I'm sorry. And the Visconti's plans don't encroach on their business, and the Chicago Mafia should have no reason to come after Berlone anymore. Which means the only ones left are the Lu Huan Hu? Dante nodded in response. If the Visconti family's dismantled, there will be no one left here to carry out their plans. It's possible they may contact the Falzone at some point seeking redress, although, with Yang out of the picture, the current Lao Shu don't pose much of a threat. It would be careless of them to act at reduced strength. And we can absorb the Visconti that don't want to move to America. Because you know what I mean? Gil's like, I'm just going there to be me. Me and Oliver. Gonna start a farm. Get some chickens. All of a sudden, we're gonna stop being roommates and realize we're gay. Listen, Gil, you can't take Oliver from me. Don't do that. I'm just saying. So, like, Gil's just like, peace out, Visconti. I'm gonna disband the Visconti and move. so he's not going to do anything about his family. You know what I mean? The people. But, like, the Felzone are like, we need some people, and your people want to stay their people. You want to they want to stay people? They don't want to go to America and just be farmers and shit? So, like, we'll take them. Be cool if they work for us. I'm just saying, it solves all of our problems. It's kind of genius. Oh my god, wait a minute. If Gil's gonna be like, okay, no more Visconti, peace out, dudes, going to America, packs his little hobo stick and goes, and he disbands the Visconti, and we take on the, does that mean we get Gilbert? Are we getting Gilbert in the, Gilbert, are we getting Oliver in the divorce? If Gilbert divorces the Visconti, do we get Oliver? Because we're gonna adopt the other kids. Gilbert, I hope you don't mind if we take Oliver and he's our lawyer now. It's like my dream come true. Dante with Oliver on the side. Yeah, I'm here for it. Gilbert, we can have telegram sex with. Like instead of phone sex, you can just telegram. What if anyone did that? I mean, you have to imagine someone did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people sexting each other, sending texts, or, like, having phone sex. You have to imagine there was someone having telegraph sex over there. I mean, you had to. Somebody did it. You know somebody did it. And now you're just like, thinking of your great-grandparents or some crazy fucking shit. And now you're just wondering. I'm just saying, you don't think while Grandpa was out fighting the fucking war, he wasn't writing dirty letters to Grandma? You know? Just throwing it out there. But, like, at some point, before that, there were people, like, sending sex telegrams. Telesexting. I'm sorry, it's a horrifying thought, but it's funny as fuck, and you know somebody did it. I'm just saying. Oh, good God, anyway. Sounds like they'll be easy to crush. That's all that's going to be on my mind now. I'm just going to start laughing 3 hours from now from this, anyway. Right, and if the Lu Wanhu finds out that Chicago's backed off, they'll likely follow suit. After all, the Lu Wanhu seeks profit gained with minimal effort. That they do. I'm thinking I may hear from them again down the line if I manage to make some decent money. If that happens, Chicago can take care of them. That's why I plan to grease the wheels ahead of time. Far more than being simple currency, money had a greater meaning to the Mafia. They invested in each other and built their network They invested in others and built their network be something of value in the future. They invested in others and built their network to be something of value in the future? Maybe? That just was not even, like, there's nothing about that sentence that made sense. The way it was phrased, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm not even sure what should have been there. With Gil anticipating these issues so far ahead, his foresight was very impressive. Well, he only has one eye, so it works a little bit better than everybody else's. You can see further. I mean, also, his foresight was pretty impressive. I mean, he's already anticipating the Great Depression, so yeah. You know, you really got a mind to stamp out the loud shoe. You're free to make use of my men. I mean, I can't drag them all with me to America at once. The Visconti will still have a base in Berlin for a bit longer. I appreciate it. In exchange, you can borrow our talented underboss when needed. Nicola's like, whoa, what the fuck? Nicola's over there in America like, I feel like Dante just loaned me out like I'm a hooker. The hell? Did you just buy me for someone? Like, this is not how you do things with people. In fact, Nicola's in America right now. He should be able to help with your negotiations. Grazie. You'd be a great help. Suddenly, Dante went quiet as he looked at Gil. Yes, a great help. Especially since Nicola is a far better fighter than I am. Huh? I wondered what he meant by that. Gil also seemed to be somewhat confused. You weren't serious back then when we were fighting. But I was dead serious. Oh! Dante was angry for a second, and then now look at his face. He's like, his pride is hurt. He's like, yes. Wait. Angry face. Sad face. Oh, I punched you as hard as I could, and you were going easy on me, weren't you? Aw, my precious little marshmallow. Gil is also kind of built like a truck. I'm just saying. He's, like, a little bit wider than you are. You know. You noticed, huh? Gil's little guilty face is so cute. He's like, I didn't want to hurt you. You're too pretty. Gil looked away and scratched his cheek. Yeah, I should have given in my all in a fight like that. Sorry, Dante. Gil chuckled, but his apology to Dante sounded sincere. He's like, I didn't want to hurt your precious thing. I love it. It's so cute. But it's not even like, oh, I just didn't think you could handle my punches. It was like, I didn't want to hurt you because we're friends and I know you were mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of adorable. Well, not all fights are resolved through force alone. Sometimes it's merely a drop in the bucket. And they both look at me, and I'm just like, I don't feel bad about it. I gotcha, don't worry. Water under the bridge. They both turned and looked at me in the same time. I knew they were doing that when he said a drop in the bucket, and then Gil did the water thing. I'm like, oh, it's coming, motherfucker. What did I say? My face reddened as I finally realized what they were referring to. I wouldn't. I'd be like, you deserved it. You were both acting like idiots. What? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry about that. I'm not. No. She's like, I'm so sorry about that. No, I ain't sorry about it. You deserved it. You were acting like idiots. What? Fight me. I just wanted to stop you two before things got out of hand, so I couldn't believe what I did back then. I can absolutely believe what I did back then, and they deserved it, so I'm not apologizing. Take it back. Gil chuckled, seeing me so flustered, trying to come up with an excuse. She's a keeper. You know that, right, Dante? I kind of really wish they had given her a little bit of stones in that and been like, at first when she did, be like, oh my god, what did I do? And then afterward now being like, yeah, you know, it was a thing in the heat of the moment, but I had to find a way to stop you two morons. Like, literally. Fucking tits up, Spacey. Don't apologize. They were acting like idiots. You'd be like, you lucky you stopped fighting after that because one of you was getting a bucket to the head. My next source. Go ahead. Probably would have been you, Gil, because I don't want to hurt Dante. No offense. Like, anyway. Yes, I know it. Dante readily agreed and turned to look at me. There's no need to apologize. What you did earlier was something only you could have done. I've known for a long time that you're much more fearless than you look. Yeah, jumping out the window? Memories of things I had done in the past returned to mind, and I felt myself blushing again. In any case, Gil and Dante were finally able to be honest and talk things out. They'd promised to help each other again, and the future was starting to look less grim. I like the fact that, like, Gil was kind of betraying us, but only to avoid fully betraying us, and that's kind of adorable, and I'm here for it. But I really do like the fact that the game bamboozled me, because I was like, Gil is acting sus, and then when the whole Raoul thing popped up, I was like, I mean, I am slightly ashamed of myself that I threatened to take out Oliver just to spite Gil, but I'm also not ashamed of it because I would have. That's how hurt I was by Gil's betrayal. That I'm willing to hurt the thing I love most in this game, and that's Oliver. Okay? Because I also know, I know it would hurt me to do it, but it would really hurt Gilbert that I did it. And I'm just saying, Gil, that's how much you hurt me. Right? That's the best way to hurt Gil. You saw what he was like when Oliver died in Nicola's route. You and me both, Gil. But like, I will suck up my anger, and I will hurt poor Oliver just to spite you. And then I will cry about it later, but I will be like, my pain is on your shoulders, Gil, so you will hurt and feel guilty. I'm just saying. Okay? Like, don't fuck with me. I get angry. Okay? We know this. Like, angry Spacey hurts the character she loves most, despite the other ones. Like, dear God. This game has made me a monster. Yeah, I was just born that way anyway. The anxiety that had filled my heart was finally melting away. I mean, that's true, because now I don't feel as anxious or traumatized by the fact that we might have to hurt Oliver. It's fine. Everything's okay. Look, it was traumatic that Oliver died that first time. Are we in chapter 6 already? Holy fucking shit. Woo! Is that like record? Like, new day had arrived, and I was spending some time alone in the hotel reading a book. Dante and Gil's conversation had continued well into the night. Afterwards, Gil returned to his own hotel, and Dante and I went to sleep. When I woke this morning, I discovered that Dante had already left for the day. I really hope their plan works. It's gonna be a shootout. We're getting kidnapped. We're gonna get there. I watched Raoul from the shadows of an alley. He arrived at the bar where Gilbert was already waiting. So far, so good. After their meeting, Gilbert would lead Raoul in this direction. As I waited alone in silence, the events of yesterday afternoon eventually came to mind. It turned into a brawl. I haven't fought with anyone like that since Nicola. Nicola never went easy on me, and now I know why. It's aggravating to be toyed with. After an hour had passed, Gilbert finally emerged from the bar with Raoul, and they made their way down the street toward me. Raoul? I spoke his name calmly, and Raoul turned his head in my direction without much thought. At first I was like, was he expecting this? He was just like, huh? But there was a little bit of shock, because he just wasn't expecting it to be Dante, you know what I mean? His eyes widened and his face distorted in fear. As he took a step back, Gilbert blocked the way. Gilbert struck Raoul in the back of the head, rendering him unconscious. That's not going to be as much fun to torture him if he's unconscious. We carried Raoul's limp body to the car parked in the alley and threw him into the trunk. See, this is why they have this emergency escape things in the trunk. You know, now, for shit like this. Man. What? Where am I? Finally awake, Raoul. Good timing. I have a few questions I need to ask you. And he gets, like, he's got such a good angry face because he just looks like such a douchebag when he's pissed. Like, his pissed face is like, oh, what a smarmy bastard. But he's so pretty. But then he looks like, you know what I mean? There's something about the twat look on his face right now. It's so good for, like, a douchey character. You know? Because, like, when Dante's angry, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, he looks like a protagonist, you know? When Gil gets angry, they're, like, beautiful. But this, there's something about the look on his face is just like, oh, you're that asshole. You know what I mean? It's not like a good guy, like, you know, like, our guys aren't really good guys. But you know what I mean? There are love interest, angry faces. This is the, like, smarmy douchebag that you're, like, totally okay with killing kind of angry face. Even though he's pretty. And I'm just saying. It's just something about it. It's good. Raoul regained consciousness and quickly tried to get away. We had, of course, tied him to a chair, and there was no chance of him getting out of here. His gaze fell upon Gilbert beside me, and he seemed to understand his predicament now. Do you realize what you're doing, Senor Redford? You know very well the people who are supporting me. Lou Wan Hu in Chicago, if I recall. I got my own plans for them, though there's no use in telling you now. And that would be enough to convey to Raoul that he was in a worse situation than he thought. His time had come. I really hope you actually take him out. You know what I mean? Raoul gritted his teeth and glared at me. I see. No remorse in the slightest. No begging for forgiveness. Seems you still have some Falzone blood on you after all. Don't take me for a fool. There's no chance you would let me go even if I begged Dante. You truly are like Silvio, aren't you? Yes, a different face, but the same mentality. Silvio became boss by killing his own siblings. You're no different from him. Except I have no siblings. I had no intention of refuting it. It was true that Silvio killed Nicola's father. Blood was spilled from the previous purge. You let your emotions get the better of you, and use your position to take others' lives. Her father was killed in the purge 6 years ago. I looked down at Raoul, who gritted his teeth again in what may have been surprise or anger. Have you nothing else to say, Raoul? I don't want to waste time, so let's get to the point. You plotted to assassinate me, the boss of the Falzone family. You lured a great deal of my men to your side and even attempted to poach my underboss, Nicola. Not to mention you leaked false information that I was the one behind it all. You know what that means? Means you spat on my name in the honor of the Visconti. My voice hurts. There was a lot of anger going back and forth between, Raoul looked away, not in fear, but rather from frustration and irritation. Raoul, you mentioned before that there are people supporting you from behind the scenes. I'd like to hear more about who those people are. You really think I'd talk now? And now he has crazy face. Gave a bitter smirk, and in return I offered him a very simple answer. I won't lie and tell you that I'll spare your life, but it'll be an easy death if you tell me. Raoul began to hyperventilate. The church taught that suicide was a sin. Raoul knew this very well. While committing suicide appeared to be a quick way out, it wasn't always a choice one would make. You should have been killed in the previous purge, but you do carry Falzone blood. Only a little. More importantly, you weren't directly involved then, so I decided to let you go. However, I have no reason to show you any mercy now. Dante's so hot right now. Well, he's threatening to kill Raoul. I'm just saying, damn. Say, Raoul, from the sound of it, seems like you were trying to avenge your father's death. If that was your true motive, then why did you stay quiet for 6 years? I doubt you needed all that time to prepare your vengeance. After all, your plans were too shallow. What? I'd only stated it as fact, but Raoul's face turned red with anger. He seemed to have taken it as an insult. And there must have been someone who prompted you to do this, or at least offered their assistance. I see. You want to learn more about him. Too bad, Dante. Talking will only benefit you. In any case, I'm dead whether I talk or not. I see. So the person is a him. An individual rather than an organization. Meaning, it could be that church guy Teo. Choice of words here doesn't point to the Luhuan Hu, Chicago, or any other group. Gilbert picked up on my observation and added in his own assumptions. If Teo is our primary target, getting rid of him could put an end to this campaign against the Falzone once and for all. That also means that we need to extract more information from you. It would be all worth it, letting him live. It would all be worth it, letting him live. We could obtain this information. And now then, Raoul, tell us everything you know about this supposed clergyman. Raoul pointedly shut his mouth in defiance. He refused to utter a single word. Either he was ferociously determined or simply foolhardy. I see. Then, why don't we negotiate? I snapped a pair of leather gloves on my hands and took a step toward Raoul. Oh, the idea... I mean, he's always wearing gloves, but the idea of him putting leather gloves on is hot. Look, I'm simple. And Gilbert gave a chuckle and spoke out in jest from behind. Dante, you're not used to this, are you? Yes, which means I don't know where the boundary lies. I drew out a knife and slowly began speaking to Raoul. I love this! I love that Gilbert's like, you don't torture people often, do you? And Dante's like, yeah, I have no idea. I might accidentally hurt him. A system of nerves runs through the human body. Allow me to explain which ones of them deliver the most pain. But Raoul, we do share blood, so I suppose I can show you some mercy. I'll let you choose. Which part of your body do you want to keep intact? Look at his face. Oh, he's thinking his beautiful face, but... Oof! Raoul struggled in his chair as an inarticulate scream escaped his throat. Oh, he cut something. Oh, he cut something. I'm, concerned the torture scene is going to go on a little bit long, but, we're kind of at time. But, we'll see, we'll see. His rough, violent breathing was intermingled with involuntary screams that told me nothing. That would be it for his hands. Then again, he'd have had no future use for them, so it wasn't too great a loss. Oh, Dante! Oh, no! We've seen this side of Dante before when he was torturing Orlok in that bad ending. Stop! Ew. How Gilbert's over there just like, gross. The pain could be elicited in many ways, and depending on the body part and how it was applied. The fact that Dante studied this shit is like, I mean, it's kind of impressive. Even the tip of a blade could draw forth a surprising amount of misery. With his entire body bound tightly to the chair, he screamed with anguish while shaking his head from side to side. Gil looks a little like, Dante, you're scaring me. Please, stop! You want me to stop you, say? Then talk. He was clearly still trying to resist, but it was no use. I slowly cut through his skin again. It looks like it hurts, Raoul. You alright? Gilbert commented as he watched me slide the blade through Raoul's flesh. The chair shook wildly with each scream from Raoul. Talk! I'll talk, so please! Oh? I stopped as he pleaded to me through teary eyes filled with terror. Teo, set everything up. Malu, Wanu, Chicago, and the government. Against the Burlone Mafia. And? Go on. He devised a plan to have the Falzone and Visconti fight each other. He was the one who wanted to get rid of the Falzone. And why would he want to do that? It's because he wants you dead, Dante Falzone. And he wants your lover dead, too. It's interesting. that Teo wants us dead if we're his sister. But maybe it's because in all that craziness, like with the parents adopting him and everything, that he's just like, they don't love me and she's still alive type of a thing. For what reason? Who knows? I have no clue at all. Raoul endured the pain as much as he could, letting out a weakened but impudent smile. I ran the tip of the blade over his skin just in case, but it seemed this really was all he knew. Teo should be headed to the hotel. I informed him that Dante and his lover were in Rome. Of course, I didn't expect you to come see me in person. She's as good as dead. Too bad, Dante. He really was ready to accept death now. Panting and gasping, tears streaming down his face, Raoul glared at me and shouted, "The Mafia is a thing of the past. Have fun clinging to the old ways if you desire. It'll all be over for you soon enough. Time will ravage you and leave you in the dust. You'll have no idea how many people seek your death, Dante. Killing me won't save you from your enemies." Are you referring to Greco or Belmondo? They knew to agree with your foolish schemes. They have no intention of betraying me. It seemed Raoul didn't know that. He may have thought a superficial effort at persuasion was enough to earn their allegiance. It was quite unfortunate. That's... It is a shame, Raoul. You were never fit to be Mafia. I sheathed my knife, then drew out my gun, pointing it between Raoul's brows. I like how Dante, even though he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Ha! Teo's gonna kill your girlfriend! And he's like, I'm just gonna calmly shoot you in the fucking eyes, and then we're gonna panic. He's like holding all his panic in. Good job. This is professional. Woo! Okay. Well, Raoul's dead. The weight of Raoul's lifeless body toppled over the chair where he fell to the floor without another word. I quietly looked at Gilbert and we swiftly made our way out of the abandoned house. We didn't have much time. I like how they just calmly are like, fuck, now we gotta go. Well, son of a bitch. Anyway, so Teo's about to come try to kill us, and then Dante and... You had to know at some point we were gonna get kidnapped or some shit, so this is where it's happening. Anyway, next time. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.